Hello and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be talking about books that I don't want to talk about, which seems counterintuitive, but stay with me. Since I've started the act of booktubing, generally in some way I tend to talk about or display whatever books that I have read, am reading. It's kind of a weird sense of accountability, which is something that I'll unpack in a different video. Today I want to mention 3 books that since I've started this channel I have read and have had no desire to talk about. And it's either because I have nothing to say about it or I have too much to say about it. The 2 first books are books that I just have nothing to say about them. The first one is The Great Gatsby by Scott Fitzgerald. Read this either last September or the September before even. I have nothing to say about it. That's why I haven't made a video. It's a classic. I read it. I understand why it's a classic and why people read it, and that's it. That's all that happened. Nothing else came of it. More recently, a book that I hauled and was really excited about and was planning to include in a Can Week video is Stories and Songs, Islands of Decolonial Love by Leanne Simpson. I, again, just for whatever reason, have nothing to say about it. I have no lasting impressions or lingering comments and things that I wanted to talk about that came from the book. There are things that I tabbed off and highlighted because I enjoyed them. And I liked how they were written or expressed, but beyond that, I have nothing else to say. The last book I'm going to mention is a book that I have much too much to even begin or have a desire to talk about, and that is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. This is a very well-known little book. So Viktor Frankl is a well-established, one of the first founder people of existentialist psychology, and he is a concentration camp survivor during World War II. He was in many different camps, some of them being the worst, and so this is a book that he wrote like right after he was freed, where he just sat down and wrote the manuscript of his observations of what it was like to live in the camp, etc. And so beyond that, I don't really want to talk about it because so I came into this book knowing like quite a decent amount of like existentialist psychology and just existentialism in general, just from my own like studies, and like my mom's a psychologist and like just all this kind of stuff. And so I just felt like there was too much backstory that I felt the need to explain. And it was just such a deeply like personal read that I just don't feel the need to convey to anyone else, even though as we've seen from recent videos, I have no problem with discussing deeply emotional personal things on the internet where I cry. But for this one, I just like don't want to. I don't want to. So I didn't, except for right now, kind of. What are some books that you've read that you don't really want to talk about, or don't know how to talk about, or don't know how to even begin to talk about? Let me know. Have a great day. See you soon.